Hello, everyone. Hello, this is Grandmaster Jessie Bowen, and you are listening to us today on the Martial Arts Extraordinaire podcast. We've been really working for the past 10 years to be able to make a difference in the world and to get a chance to meet people we would probably never have an opportunity to meet. There's so many martial artists that are really impacting society. And this is what this program is about, is those martial arts extraordinaire. We have one here today. We have Shidoshi Nathan Ingram, and he's here with us today. And I do want to say, before we really get into it, that this is a program that's sponsored by Elite Publications. Everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. So if you're interested in publishing or growing your brand, reach out. Our website is www.elitepublications.org. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you. Nice. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, we've been bumping into each other, at the action show and, Seafood's event and, meeting each other. And we're both traveling down the same road. We're doing something totally different, very similar, but totally different. And I thought it would be a great opportunity for us to get together, because they probably, a lot of our fans and followers, they see us on Facebook and other social media. And of course, you have your magazine and, we have our magazine, but we're doing the same work. So, you and and I, we're growing our relationship that we can even work closer because we both have the same philosophy, at this point of our lives.
Yes, sir.
World a better place. And, you're doing a phenomenal job with that, of, recognizing people that probably would not get recognized, and really bringing out, who some of these people are that we don't know. Because I'm in North Carolina, and back in the day, we had the magazine and what was it? Black Belt magazine, Karate Illustrate magazine, the Action Martial Arts magazine, Karate International magazine, and we had an idea who the people were, because they were featured, because they had to be great to be featured. If you weren't great, you didn't get getting featured in the magazine. But what you're doing and what I'm doing is understanding that there are a lot of great martial artists, just because they didn't win 1,000 trophies or didn't win the grand championship, that doesn't mean that they're still not empowering the art. So welcome to our program today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's an honor, really. And I been watching your stuff, what you're doing, and it's great, because I always tell people the biggest problem that martial artists have is competing against each other. Instead of coming together, we all have, most of us, that are instructors that really take our craft seriously. We're in it to better the martial arts community, because we're in it to better people, to help them to learn focus, discipline, respect, honor. And if we don't play this role ourselves, all that teaching goes in vain, and we're being hypocritical. I've been very disappointed on what I've been seeing on social media. A lot of these instructors just putting up a whole lot of foolishness on Facebook, disrespecting each other and things of that nature. And it just makes me want to push forward to bring the martial arts community together like you're doing. And I think one of the driving forces for Nathan Ingram, is I grew up, born and raised, not a secret, born and raised in the Chinatown area. And I know what it is, when you're around people, martial art instructors that's really not into that. They're not into the limelight. They're not into bragging. They're not into getting on Facebook and posting their lineage and having to make everybody think that they're not, we're not, everybody else is fake, but me, and I got sick of it, and I said, there's so many martial artists that are being quiet under the radar, and they're not being seen, and they need to be seen, and need to be heard, and people need to know. You can't wipe out that history, what was done years ago with the magazines, that was done. Now it's a new thing with social media. we can get these guys recognized, and men and ladies recognized for their amazing talent, all the hard work they put in, and things like that. So, I was one that I didn't like all the attention for years. I taught in the Chinatown area for 50 years of my life. I was born down there, and I never liked the attention. But I said it's not fair to your family, your students, that some instructors don't get that attention. And when I would be in the subways of New York and I would see Bruce Lee, no disrespect to Bruce Lee or any other instructor, but what defines greatness? Because you won 1,000 trophies. What are you doing in your community? What are you doing to benefit martial arts? Are you getting on Facebook and cursing and acting a fool and bragging? And this is not greatness to me. What's greatness is somebody that's upholding the integrity of martial arts, not because you're in a movie, not because you've broke records or anything like that. Because I know guys that never had a school, and I think they're great. However, I think what's great in my eyes may not be great in somebody else's eyes. I believe that as long as you're doing right by the martial arts community and you're doing big things and it's unselfish, this is what it's all about. That's just my opinion,
Well, your magazine, the Deadly Art of Survival, that has been really an inspiration to me to see what, the things that you're doing. And you're right, reaching in our community. And where we are as master levels instructors, our lineage in life should be about what do we produce. And you see, if we know a secret, then it's sort of our obligation to share that secret of how to become better. Because if I only keep, my life is an open book. If you want to know, what's Jessie Bowen's secret is understanding that when I'm failing, that's the moment I'm getting ready to succeed.
Right.
And that we can teach that, in our, not only in our martial arts, maybe it's to the non-martial artists, when they pick up our material and they're reading about the martial artists that are in there and, what they've done. I stopped writing about famous because, well, as you said before, famous, that's sort of like an ego, and half of it you can't prove. And so, after my first book back in 2015 and 16, it was about famous books, people, and again, all respect due to them. But you see, it hit me one day that it was more about the famous people. It was more about telling your story about how martial arts impacted your life.
Yes,
because
sir.
that's when a mom picks up a magazine and they read about a person that was picked on and bullied in their lives, and then maybe they can relate to their child that this is what they're going through.
Yes.
I think I'll try this martial arts stuff out because Johnny is being picked on. Or if they learn that martial arts helped them gain better grades in school, or all the different things that we know martial arts can do, then we have to educate not just the martial artists. We have to focus on educating the non-martial artists to continue the growth and development. And
Yes.
The hidden secrets. I know when I started in the martial arts, it's almost 50 years ago. But almost you had the teacher try to beat you up or abuse you, see what you come back the next day. Cut your finger, bleed in the bucket. And today we find that there's truly a need, for the martial arts. That self-discipline. Our kids learning respect. I have a friend here in North Carolina that's now integrating martial arts, Taekwondo, into the public school. So he's now the school system. The governor just gave him an award. The system just gave him a grant because the way he is teaching this in the schools, the teachers can see the difference in those kids. They're more respectful. Their concentration is better, and they have something of value. So these are the things that we really want to bring to the community. Is the value in the martial arts, and you're blessed with a platform. I'm blessed with a platform, and getting these platforms to really, come together and we build the next generation and be able to message.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I totally agree 100%. I think that what's happening is with, you and I don't know how old you are. I'm up there. But
Big 7-0.
say again.
I'm
Oh, okay.
70.
God bless you. God bless you. I was going to say that, coming up in our era, we didn't have social media. We didn't have, everything wasn't so blatant like the way it is now. And I think that if we're on a platform, if we're going to speak loud, we have to speak loud and positive. I think we have to be, I tell people all the time, I train very hard. I would hate for all the training that I've done to go in vain because I want to be so popular that I feel I can send any kind of message. No, some things you shouldn't just say on social media, being an instructor. This is my opinion, because we're leaders, we're influencers. We can influence how other people do things. And I always had a problem with celebrities that get out there and they act a fool, and after a fight match, they're cursing in public. And I always had a problem with that. None of us are perfect. But I believe from the day we walked in our school, we've seen all kinds of signs: discipline, respect, honor, train hard. But we're not living by that code. We're not living by that code. And I've noticed that social media have gotten a lot of these instructors to act very ignorant. But what I have noticed is that most of the instructors that are acting like this don't own schools. Mm-hmm. The ones that own schools, they know we have a responsibility to the community. They know that if a parent sees us doing crazy things on social media, the chances of them bringing their child to their school, to our school, is very slim. So I feel a moral obligation through our magazine to have people with integrity in our magazine. It doesn't matter to me much if you have a school, as long as you're living by the martial arts code of martial art, the Bushido code. That's very important to me, because I think that we've all worked too hard to get to the level that we are. I don't like to call myself master. That's just me, only because I'm still training, man. I just love training. And the more I train, the more I'm learning. So I think that, when we get to a certain level, we have to keep rising to the top for better, not for worse. We don't start, regressing and degressing back to who we were back in the days. We already took responsibility for that foolishness we did. So what are we going to do? Bring that into our later years also? The bragging, how much money you have and how many houses you own. Nobody cares about that. What are you doing for the martial arts community? You understand? This is important for me, for the Deadly Art of Survival magazine. I talk a lot about it in my new book also. My displeasure, for the way the martial arts is turning, because we can be, I don't care what kind of organization you're running. They look up to you for a reason. And anybody that has an organization should have people looking up to them for all positive reasons. Nothing negative. You never heard of a parent say, I want to bring my child to that school because he's an idiot. You never heard that. He curses. He degrades other instructors. He thinks he's tough. He thinks he swings the best weapon. You never heard anybody say that. You hear parents say, it's good for my child. They're going to learn discipline. They're going to learn self-respect. They're going to watch what comes out of their mouth, because there's repercussions for everything that you do for your actions. This is what's important to me. And a lot of instructors think, just because I've heard a guy say on Facebook, I know everybody thinks I'm negative. Well, nobody should think you're negative.
That's right.
That's nothing to brag about, because everybody think you're spilling out negative. Maybe you should keep your mouth shut and just be positive, because sometimes silence is louder than the loudest word. I don't care how much you tell me you're training. You understand? You can't fool me or anybody else. If you're not showing it, I'm not talking about by the body. If you're not showing it by the way you're acting, by your actions, it doesn't matter to me how many years you say you've been in martial art. It was many years of wasted time, because you learned nothing.
Well, that's why, in a lot of things I have done, I've written over 30 books on Christian. I'm a minister. And that's what we really have to realize is that we all have a purpose. And if we understand we have a purpose, we will understand that we can be creators or we can become destroyers. And we can do that through our actions and through our words.
That's right.
And this is what I believe, that everybody wants to be a grand master, and a lot of people don't care how they get there, and not realizing that when you look at becoming the master of technique is very difficult because it always can be improved. You see, but to be able to master yourself, start there, mastering yourself, and then what do you create?
Yes.
Because if you're a master, what do you create? If you're a master, a grand master, or a master in the martial arts, I want to know what did you create? How many black belts? How many people do you have following you? Because just because you have a secret technique, you watch too many movies. Because a master should be able to show that, and not just tell someone, but you should be able to see that person and know that there's something unique and different about that person, and that they are, when what they're promoting goes in with making it better. We're celebrating today. This is this show. We're celebrating Martin Luther King Day, and this morning I had to get up and play. I Have a Dream, because that's empowered. That is a leader that impacted a movement, that impacted a world, that impacted humanity and everything around it to make it better. We have to be in that place. Do we make things better?
Yes, sir.
Sure, I can destroy you. I can teach you how to fight, and then you can go out and destroy someone, then you wind up in prison. I have to teach you how not to fight.
Right.
How do you eliminate? How do you not be trapped in this situation? Because I can look at it and see the outcome because I am well prepared.
Yes, sir.
So I can defeat you before I get there. If I have to apply what I know, then that's sort of difficult. That's hard to return from.
Yes,
so
sir.
I think that as we, as martial artists, as we move forward and senior ranks such as yourself, myself, and many other great martial artists, we do have a opportunity to make a difference. We have an obligation to be able to make a difference, and we can find how we can, in each of our own way, we can make a difference. And that's what the Martial Arts Extraordinaire is about, is that I'm not just a martial arts, I am working to make a difference. And you can look at my life and my journey and you can see that difference.
Right. That's important. That's good. Good for you.
Yeah, so tell us, in that inspiration, what was the when you decided to write your book? And I know it's out, so how can we get a copy of your book?
Okay, you can get the book, The Life of a Warrior, by Rebecca Green. You can get that on Amazon. It's doing very well on Amazon. It's a good read, and I'm not saying that for people to buy the book. It tells them the journey that I went through, because when I get on a platform, I want them to know the bad about me, what I did wrong to get me to where I am now. You're talking to a young man that grew up in a housing project 1 block away from Chinatown that was accepted in that area from training. But I was originally a gang member as a teenager and a gang leader. And it took one bullet to change my life. And all through that time, I was in the gang. When I was a young kid, I was a teenager, and we do dumb things when we're a teenager. It took a bullet to change my life and made me rethink, do I want to do this or I want to change my life? I'm the son of a Baptist preacher. I know God. And everything I do is I do it with the blessing. I try to ask God to bless me to do the right thing, because I did so much wrong when I was a kid. And so I began my journey down teaching in martial arts back in 1973 in Chinatown. And I wanted to be the first Black man to ever own a school in Chinatown. And I became that guy through hard work and perseverance. You can do anything you want to do. You could talk all the talk you want. Some people want to see action. They want to see what you've done. And I tried with the magazine. I didn't want to be the the guy that have my face all over the magazine, only because that's what's expected, because ego and arrogance in the martial arts tells us that everybody wants to see us. No, we want to see people like us that's doing the right thing in the martial arts. So I don't ever, try to put my picture on the cover of our magazine, because you could have all the accolades in the world. You could do a million things right. People are looking for you to do one thing wrong. And I always knew that. So I always said, you know what? I want to make sure that I keep in a positive direction, put positive role models on our magazine and our magazines, credible martial artists with good lineage. And this was why I had this magazine created. On top of the fact that I got so tired of seeing nothing but celebrities on the cover. I know guys in my community that were, to me, in my eyes, were celebrities, man. These were great martial artists that nobody ever heard of. Nobody ever heard of. Half of the people we put, more than half, 80% of the people we put on our cover, nobody's ever heard of. Only in a small circle. And martial artists think because their neighborhood knows them, that makes them big. The world doesn't know you. That's like a grain of sand on the biggest beach talking about how popular he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Martial artists become legends in their own mind, and they get so caught up in wanting to be seen, as opposed to just making sure that the martial arts is seen in a positive light by all of us, not just by one individual. Nathan Ingram can't do it all. Jessie Bowen can't do it all, But what we can do with the knowledge and wisdom that we have, share and spread the love. Because if you look at the state of martial arts, and a lot of people are ignoring some of the foolishness that's going on. I don't. I'm an outspoken guy, but I'm not outspoken to the point where I want to disrespect anybody. Right. I don't want to shout out names and all that stuff. But I see what's going on, the buffoonery that's going on. And this is our precious art. I didn't train 55 years of my life to see this foolishness that I'm watching on social media. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to be the change, and it starts with one. Everything that has started. You mentioned Martin Luther King. Had it not been for him, who would have led the charge? Had it not been for you, Martial Arts Extraordinaire, who would have led the charge? Had it not been for me and my son, Jacob Ingram, who's amazing individual, who created all the graphics that you see that's everybody talks about in the magazine, the quality. My son does that. If it hadn't been for him, my staff, my daughter-in-law Chastity, Glenn Beck, Deshaun, if it hadn't been for our staff, none of this could have been done. And I'm just grateful to God that it's getting done. And we're just starting. Only been 2 years.
Yeah. Say it again? This is what we're talking about, is that when you start something for it to be manifested, for it to be done, then people will come in your life. They're blessing, right. And sometimes your blessing is standing right beside you, and right. and you don't really even know it. But that is awesome that you're what you're doing. We see that, and as I said before, a lot of the people in this southern part of the country, I know, because North Carolina, we've just started in the past few years of going up north and meeting different people. But that's what we have to do, is open those doors, because a lot of the people that you have in your magazine, I don't know, but mm-hmm. many of the people are people that I've met at Action, and having that chance to meet martial artists. We've been out on the West Coast meeting people down in the in the southern part of the country, and now it's really reaching out, and that's what we want to do. And our goal is to really have the content that about the martial artists, but about the knowledge of your personal value. Everybody's got a story.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's like with your book. We've been working with people with their memoirs, but everyone's got a story. How can we help them? Through our magazine, through them to making that decision that they want to write or publish their stories. So there's so many ways that we can help to be able to get that word out. So that is our goal. So, sir, any last things as we wrap up? Thank you so much. I know that your schedule is busy. Mine is crazy, but really, I really appreciate you taking the time out to just, let us hear from you. We see in your actions. God bless you and all the things that you're doing.
Thank you, brother.
And knowing that, supporting and anything that we can do
Mhm.
to support your efforts. And, just let us know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm always going to support you. I'm always there. I don't say much. But I'm watching, and telling people. And I always tell people this. What happens is this is not a race to see who's better. It's a race to make things better.
Right. That's
It's a race
exactly
to
right.
make a we run. As a Christian, I know we're running out of time. As a Christian, I know what God expects from us. As a Christian, I know that we're not perfect. As a Christian, I know but God expects us to do perfect things,
That's
in a
right.
perfect way. We have to perfect and I'm wholeheartedly from my heart concerned about God bless me with martial arts to be an inspiration to others. Whether it was through my training, whatever I've done, I know where God put me, and I'm taking advantage of the spot that He's put me in. I don't care about the arrogant. I don't care about the ego. I don't have to get any accolades. It doesn't matter to me. Um, what matters to me is how people look at us as instructors. I represent all. You represent all. When people see you, they expect certain things to come out of your mouth. They expect you to be a certain way. And we have to we can't let them down. We have to let them know we went through everything that we went through for a reason, and not to become out a mess, not to come out a mess. We want to improve the world, and I know that's your goal. I've seen what you're doing. I'm watching your work. I'm saying that's a bad brother, you know. And yeah, I'm telling you the truth. I'm a very transparent guy. Anybody that tell you that met me tell you I'm very transparent. I'm very clear where I stand. I'm a no nonsense guy. But when I see positive stuff, I gravitate to it. I learn from it. You know what I mean? And we can all learn from each other. And that's what's important to me in martial arts.
Well, as I always believe myself, that every time I meet someone, there is a reason
Mm-hmm.
for that. And
Right.
this is the way that we feel about you uh, and the things that you're doing. And that's why I said really looking forward to this program. And we've got each other's contact. So
Yes.
anytime that you want to chat, I'm
Yes, sir.
always there. Or if you've got anything that that you need our support on,
Yes, sir.
we're here to be able to support you. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone, this is the Martial Arts Extraordinaire program. So remember, you've got a story. Now let's join together in the martial arts community. And if you're not a martial artist and maybe you're coming across our program, whether it's through YouTube, Facebook, or any of our TV networks, remember the martial arts this is itself is a powerful tool. I have no earthly idea where I would be in life if it wasn't for the martial arts and a great teacher. So we really want to say that, that the martial arts is sort of like, two words, but it's the great teacher, the person that has studied, understands the value, and can help you empower yourself. So we want to say that, look into the martial arts, go to a school, put your child into a martial arts class, but when you walk in the door, you'll know right away, is this the place you need to be? Because you'll be able to feel it. And let's touch that one thing, because I get asked all the time about which style is better, which school is better. And I always say when you walk in the door, it doesn't matter about the style. It matters about the teacher, the
Yes, sir.
impact of that. So anything you want to throw on that before we close?
6 words. Martial art instructors, let's do better.
That's right. So when people come in, that they will know that they're in the right place
Yes,
and
sir.
continue to grow. Everyone, again, this is Jessie Bowen with Nathan Ingram, and we're not going to throw titles out there, because we're just who we are. The martial arts extraordinaire. Remember, you have a power. Use your power. Hey, and God bless.